Hello, everyone. First off, thank you to Mike and to everyone who put on this event. Beautiful space. Pleasure to be here. So my project is called the Native Protocol. Our mission is to enable communities to set up their own banking system that meets both the needs and the interests of the people in that system. So before I get into it, the specifics of the project itself, I'd like to talk a little bit about the functions of an actual bank. The main functions of a bank are take funds that are invested or that are deposited by contributors, to pay out those funds when required, to make loans at interest, and to exchange currencies. Traditionally, banks tend to take the money that's deposited and invest it into projects and profit themselves, as opposed to returning those funds back to the depositors. And they reward the depositors with sub 1% interest rates and sometimes even charge fees for their deposits. So in a sense, this means that our wealth stored in these traditional banks is kind of dead to us. It's not working for us in a way that is optimal. So if we were to redesign a banking system for the tokenized economy, what we would like to see is a system where people can choose the communities that they would like to participate in, where the investment decisions are made by the people in the communities, where the total value of each system is a measure of influence within that system, and where members are rewarded for their participation in that system. So the main functions of the Native Protocol itself are to raise capital for a community with any sort of vision or goal, to provide tools and an interface for limited knowledge users to coordinate efforts and fund the things that are related to the goals of their projects, to have the recognition of community value within a larger framework, and to have constant liquidity through a weighted reserve based on the Bancor protocol. So tribes are the communities in our system. We have contributors that stake the base protocol token or native token to join the tribes that they would like to have their wealth allocated into. Tribe tokens are generated at a calculated market based on the Bancor algorithm, and there's a weighted token reserve for instant liquidity in case you want to move between tokens or even have intertribal commerce, essentially, because you can always recognize the value between the different tribes. So the funds that aren't sent to the reserve are put into a development fund, which functions as the tribe's resource pool, where members in the tribe can lend to other members, and the tribe itself can spend to execute whatever the project's goals are. So quick use case. I'd like to use a music festival for this instance. So before the music festival, the organizer of the festival can create the tribe and invite all of the attendees to join. When attendees stake their native tokens into the project, they generate the local tokens, which act as voting power, and they can be accepted by that festival at a discount. After the event, token holders can receive special content by just holding their tokens in the wallet, and they can vote for artists based on how many tokens they have. There can also be commerce between attendees over the time period leading up to the next event. The token economy in this instance is dependent upon the quality of the festival, the discounts provided by the vendors, and the quality of the goods, how many future attendees come and join the festival next year and in the years following that, as well as if the regulations tend to start to ease up a little bit, any future distributions provided by revenues generated from the festival itself. So here's a little UI screen around what the dashboard itself could actually look like. So for this festival, you'd have the ability to buy and sell very simply through your MetaMask login. All of the different active projects that are available, different tasks that can be completed by members in the tribe to earn the local tokens for that tribe, and then different available votes that have different structures, like 1 vote per member or 1 vote per token, which can all be customized in a modular way as the organizer of the tribe. So the native token. The native token is the base currency for the native protocol. It's the entry point into tribes, and it's also a liquidity pool to support all of the tribes within the network. So holders are just liquidity providers that benefit from the growth of the entire network. The native token encapsulates the entire value of the native protocol, and the token value fluctuates with the size of the network and with the value creation from the tribes. So the native token details. We have a small pre-sale that's open today. We have the initial token sale coming towards the end of Q1. It's called a token type of staking token because you can either hold the base token or you can allocate it into the tribes to generate the local tokens for that tribe. The initial token price is 1 ETH per 10,000 native tokens, and the total tokens during launch is 286 million tokens. So the token launch cap, I'd say 10,000 ETH at a stable price. So the interesting thing about this model and the way the Bancor protocol is developed is that tokens are always generated and redeemed based on the amount that's deposited into the contract. So we set this stable price for 10,000 ETH just for the initial round of people who come in. And after that, the value of the tokens will start to go up or down based on people either depositing more ETH or Bancor into the contract or redeeming their NT for Bancor or ETH. So our split for our use of proceeds, as you can see here, is 20% that goes to the native reserve to provide the instant liquidity for the token, 8% to seeding tribes, 10% for operational budgets over time, 12% going to marketing and biz dev, 10% to legal, and 40% to software development. The token allocation, 5% to the early contributors in the early sale, 15% to founders, 10% to a grant partnership fund, 20% to a long-term development fund, which is locked up for 3 years, and 50% going to the token launch participants. So our team is comprised of myself, the founder of CryptoDex, one of the first token launch advisory companies, Kirsten McMullen, who is one of the I would say leading front-end developers in the space right now, has built some amazing front ends for applications like Parity and Polkadot. We also have a co-founder of ZK Labs, one of the top Ethereum smart contract auditing companies, as well as some amazing developers, blockchain architects, and an amazing community manager. Some of our advisors are prominent people in the early crypto community, as well as some initial tribe curators based out of San Francisco. As I mentioned, we're building on top of the Bancor protocol. We use Harbor and potentially Aragon for governance. We also have Volpum Ventures and Soluzione Fultura focusing on cloud and security infrastructure, and Decentranet, as I mentioned, with the San Francisco-based community, who will be one of the initial curators of our tribes. Thank you.
And just a small amount of time remaining if there are any quick questions. Yeah. And they'll have to be quick.
Jake, yeah, why do you need the reserve fund to lock up for 3 years? Just give the money to the managers of the fund to manage your money. That's it.
That is a good idea. Our reason to have...
as a manager of the fund, I don't like when the money is not working and just sitting for 3 years and waiting for something.
So our goal is to ensure that we aren't taking those tokens and flooding the market. So as long as we are not selling all of the tokens into the market, if there are alternative strategies that are in mind, I'm more than happy to explore them.
Actually, we've got time up, so if it's a really quick one.
You kind of threw me off. It's good. It kind of threw me off in the beginning. Is it a bank that you're replicating, or is it sort of a custom economy / fund?
So each tribe has its own, when you break down the functions of a bank, you have make deposits, lend and spend from those deposits, and from lending earn interest, and exchange between currencies. So each tribe itself gets
Let me pause you just because of time. I get where you're going with that. I'd be careful with the bank reference because they're highly regulated entities, and you're kind of walking right into something there. You may want to, the idea is right, I would just maybe change the vocabulary. just so you don't get called up from a jury and said, "Is this a bank?"
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.